Hello, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports on Vegas Video Network. And
hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Episode 6.
Can you see me behind my 12th flag?
Are you hiding behind your really tiny 12th flag?
Episode 6.
Yep.
We are here as usual, live from beautiful Las Vegas. Still a little chilly, but not as bad.
And we are here on the Vegas Video Network. So Vegas Video Network /live. Join us if you want to chat with us. We're going to be covering a couple of topics that you might want to get into. And I am one of your hosts, Jamie Collier, also the creator of girlchatsports.com, where female fans can go to connect and learn and be entertained and all sorts of fun things.
And learn a few new things.
And
maybe.
learn a few. Yeah, that's we aim to please. I'm a Michigan fan, University of Michigan college fan by birth. My NFL loyalties can be bought. However,
dun, 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 dun.
I think I've picked a team.
I think they've been bought.
I think I'm going to be an LA Rams fan. We'll talk about that. We'll get into that. I'll tell you my top 10 reasons why I should be an LA Rams fan.
Oh, Lord.
They're the closest team. I'll let you get to your thing. But first, a little bit of housekeeping.
Sure.
Tell us about you.
Thank you. I'm Melissa, also a Girl Chat Sports co-founder, and I am a die-hard Seahawks fan. If you haven't been able to tell from my lovely patches, shout out to Young for those. I appreciate it. Huge Seahawks fan, was raised in Seattle, Husky, University of Washington alumni, and proud of it. And, I still blame Oklahoma City for taking my Sonics. But hey,
you're not bitter at all. Not bitter at all.
I'm not over it yet. It's okay.
We have a great show for you today. We're covering a lot of different things. College hoops are up and up. So now that college football is done, we have to become college basketball experts. Clearly, we got some playoffs coming up. We've got, we got to talk about the Rams. We got to talk about that and a couple other things.
The playoffs that were this past weekend, which if anyone saw, Saturday and Sunday were some crazy games.
Well, yes.
Crazy.
I felt like Saturday and Sunday I wanted to drink.
Owed to be a 6 seed in the playoffs.
With 22 seconds left.
And 14 seconds
Or 14 seconds left.
Either which way.
I feel like you're dying to talk about that.
No. Well, let's not. We've got a college game that we just finished. So now we can officially say that college football is done, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk about Alabama about as much as I like to talk about Ohio State. I feel like both of those fans are way too obnoxious.
Roll Tide. Like, do you notice that anybody from the South period is a Roll Tide? It's not about just being Alabama. It's like I've seen people in Georgia, Florida, anywhere over there. Like, oh yeah, Roll Tide. Well, how long have
Except
you been?
Auburn fans, they are not Roll Tiders.
No, huh?
No. And we will be in Mobile, Alabama in 2 weeks for Senior Bowl.
What?
And that city is like divided like the Mason-Dixon line.
I
Maybe
heard.
Too soon for that
like
joke.
Ridiculously.
But yeah, you're either an Auburn fan or you're an Alabama fan.
I'm just going to not pack any maroon and or red.
No, don't. Or like the houndstooth checkered black
Never
and white
do
thing.
that.
Don't do
No.
that. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Clemson came around this last year. I mean, I hadn't heard from them in a minute and a half. They came around. Were undefeated until national championship. Mm-hmm. I did watch most of that game actually, and I was rooting for Clemson. Just because not a big Alabama fan.
No.
Yeah, right up there with Ohio State.
But side note, their orange uniforms weren't as terrible as like a Thursday Night Football kind of uniform for me, because I think their socks aren't all the same color. Like they actually had white socks with their ugly orange uniform.
On a scale of 1 to Thursday Night Football, how bad is your outfit right now?
It would be like about a 6.5. Okay. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like eye gouging. It wasn't like let me turn the channel, but it was like I could probably deal with it.
Derrick Henry shined in that game. I was watching.
He is huge. But yeah,
offside kick. So I was actually listening to Nick Saban on a Fox Sports podcast today,
right,
talking about, and we talked about this before the show, about if he's going to go pro, and he was pro before, he was an assistant coach, and he's just really built up this team, and they have a lot of loyalty for him. So,
and for those that are watching, offside kick would be so. What happened was that Alabama scored a field goal. Usually, after any kind of score, a touchdown, field goal, you kick and you punt, you kick off to the receiving team to then take the ball over and have their way with it. Well, Alabama,
most of the time when you're on a fourth down, you also punt it away.
Correct. No,
but after a field goal.
Yes. Sorry, you had me confused for a second. Yes. Mm-hmm. Alabama had a little trick play up their sleeve, and after they scored their field goal, this was kind of like the turning point in the game, I think, is they kicked an onside kick, which is basically you're kicking it between you and the team lining up across from you, and you're kicking a short kick, hoping that you can still get the ball back. So as long as the other team touches it somehow, and then you get it, it's your ball. Mm-hmm. Yes, the ball has to go 10 yards.
And thank you for correcting me. I said offside kick, and you said, and it was actually an onside kick. Yeah.
Offside, onside, tomato, whatever.
2 different things. And this, ladies and gentlemen, has been Melissa Explains It All.
Or attempts to, whichever one works best.
Melissa, you have so much football knowledge in your head.
It's my huge head that it's a 7 3/8. No one knows, but now you know. My fitted hats are all 7 3/8. I have a large cranium that engulfs this information.
So you just packed all of that football knowledge in over the years.
So college football officially done.
Done. Yeah.
Except for our Senior Bowl.
Except for Senior Bowl, of course, the Combine. You know, the college players are still really active, and they're hoping, you know, the ones that are eligible for draft are now prepping for that, and the rest of them, I guess, are...
As are we. We're prepping for going there.
I know, we're so excited.
It just so happens the one time I attend a Senior Bowl, it happens to be coached by one of my arch rival teams. So there's always apparently 2 coaching staffs that become the coaches for the Senior Bowl. This year it's the Jacksonville Jaguars and...
Bortles.
Not Bortles.
I just like to say Bortles.
And the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So officially, unofficially, I will not be speaking to anybody in Dallas.
That's going to be really awkward.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, sorry, I can't talk to you. She can.
Okay, if I will give you the Jacksonville Jaguars, like all of them. You can have them. I will.
My goal is to get tickets to the game so I can float in their pool in their stadium.
The Jags have a pool?
Yeah.
Well, it's hot enough. I mean, it's hot as Hades down there.
Hello. Ugh. I want to be on a floaty watching a football game. How cool would that be?
They just need to build a moat around that stadium, and then they could just get everyone on inner tubes, right? And like natty ice, and you could just drink your natty ice while you're floating around the stadium watching.
And a little tidbit of info. Anyone that's watching right now, can actually chime in live and chat with us. We actually have some people going right now. Danny's here. Steve's here. Mad Chipmunk is here, 1028, and we've got a couple other people, including ourselves. So say hi while we're
chatting.
While we're here, going through the motions. So awesome. A little bit of NBA. It's been a while since I mentioned a Kobe World Tour. However, I will say that Kobe and the Lakers, which yesterday when I checked the stats was like it had won a total of 8 games. Apparently they won because now they've won 9 games. That's 9 out of 31. They've won 9 and lost 31.
That's
31
sad.
games.
That's sad.
But it's not the worst because the Philadelphia 76ers have now won a total of 4 games. And there's been some mathematical number crunchers, probably from MIT or some other crazy school that I could never get into, basically mentioned that the chances of the 76ers winning 12 straight games was probably more probable than, or was actually worse than someone winning the Powerball, which is at $1.5 billion.
We are driving to Prim tonight and buying tickets.
No, we're going to drive to Mountain View because it's like one stop after, and you don't have to wait in that 4-hour line.
Okay. I don't know where Mountain View is. I just know where Prim is on the way to LA.
Like the next exit pass.
Speaking of LA, why can't I be an LA Rams fan? They are listen. Here's my top number one reason. Mm-hmm. They are the closest NFL team in a city that I would want to go to from here.
You don't like it, Phoenix? No.
I'm like, no.
No, Denver.
I feel like LA is going to get a lot of...
As a LA Rams fan, are you the new LA Rams fan or are you the old LA Rams fan?
From like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know. A vintage LA Rams fan sounds pretty cool. Like I could get vintage jerseys.
I know. I'm just saying.
And like... No?
So yeah, St. Louis, congratulations to St. Louis. You've now lost 2 NFL franchises in a matter of 2 decades.
And speaking of states that you don't want to live in today, Mizzou is under, like their basketball team now is under review. They have to like recall all of the 23 games that they played in the 2013 and 14 season because they're under investigation.
For?
Well, you know, the president of Mizzou stepped down and like the vice chancellor and some people for racial comments and like discrimination. So they're undergoing this whole.
So they won all these games.
They have to. I think they said vacated or recanted or something like that. So the state of Missouri right now is not doing so great. But I did look. I was actually checking this out on Twitter today. And I got a couple tweets here that I got to give shouts out to. I don't know these people at all, so they probably won't watch the show, but whatever.
Fun. We'll make them now. Now they're going to watch.
Apparently, for the most part, what I was seeing on Twitter was people were positive about this, Rams to LA thing. So Taylor Walker says, I stay tailored 8. So California gets like 16 professional sports teams, yet Seattle can't get their Sonics back.
Hello.
Rams to LA.
I'm with you all the way.
Seriously. How many teams need to go to California before it falls into the ocean?
Let's not just say that, how many teams get to go there, but how many teams continuously leave there as well? So you've already lost the Rams once. You've lost the Raiders once. I mean, how many more teams need to go and come back? Because their fans, although Lakers are diehard, there's not like a ton of like diehard fans. And I don't think so. Maybe it's just me. But like the Lakers games, they come in like at halftime. They come to the game at halftime. Maybe because they're all celebrities and super cool. I don't know.
What does that mean? Like the LA Rams are going to be celebrities?
Well, here's the deal. They're going to be playing their first seasons at the Coliseum where USC plays. So, of course, they're going to be super famous and super cool.
So you'd have to leave at like 4 a.m. to tailgate for an LA Rams game. Right. You'd be like, all right, I'm going to get in traffic for 8 hours.
Right. And spend
set
it there.
Set up my grill and buy a $25 beer. Okay. So I also saw a tweet from the Indianapolis Colts, who are apparently reaching out to the St. Louis Rams fans who now have no place to go. I guess if you're a Rams fan currently, you either get to pick the Kansas City Chiefs or the Colts. Is that the... So the Indianapolis... I can't talk. The Indianapolis Colts tweeted out today, we've got some NFL fans. We've had some NFL fans reach out to us due to some recent events. Just saying, we're only a short drive away.
Aww.
And then they put like a little map from like
reassuring.
the Lucas Oil Stadium to the Edward Jones Dome. And they
They'll
even put the
probably
exact
get lost.
amount of time it would take to get there. That's cute. So yeah, I guess if you're a Rams fan currently, you can be you have the choice. You can be, I don't know if anybody can see this, but you can be a Kansas City Chiefs fan or a Colts fan, or you could be an LA Rams fan, but you wouldn't, I guess, go to any game.
Or you could be like me and be a Sonics fan, aka a St. Louis Rams fan forever. I want to be, because your team might have left, but you may just continue to be supporting him just from a ways away.
I'm just a Todd Gurley fan. That's it. That's
Oh,
it.
so
His
you
arms.
know, so you know,
Because he was in arms. Listen, he was in arms in the NFL. That's how I know. Yes.
Maybe you
Keep it up, Todd Gurley.
Get a quarterback for this new stadium too.
I can barely see you over this tiny little like 12
Wah, wah, wah,
man
wah.
flag you have.
And did you?
I was
hear
going to say,
you were
is that
telling
your
me?
flag that you're going to take to the Panthers stadium?
Apparently, this size flag I can bring into the stadium this weekend,
And only you can hold it.
and only I can hold it. We couldn't share it.
No, I can't even touch it.
No. Tell us the new rules.
All right, the new rules are, well, they made these rules. The Panthers decided after Cam Newton tore down the Packers flag, the Packers fan flag.
So it had nothing to do with the Seattle Seahawks.
No, this was a
12th
couple
man
weeks ago.
frenzy. Okay.
Yeah, this is a couple weeks ago. They actually reduced the size. They didn't say you can't bring in a flag or, a sign or whatever. They reduced the size that you could bring in to 2 feet by 2 feet. So 24 inches by 24 inches, basically this big. And only one person could hold it, and they're going to strictly enforce it. So basically what they're saying to the 12th man fans who carry the flags, and
Because they're 3 by 5. They're 3 feet by 5 feet.
that you
'Cause I
cannot
have
bring
one.
in a fan. So get out a Sharpie and say, go Hawks. And
Best
take
believe
that.
there are plenty of seamstresses right now making
that
making 2 by 2 or 2 feet by 2 feet flags as we
That's
speak.
so tiny.
And they're going to be throughout the stadium. Mark my word.
But maybe if they all got together and like made one big flag, like they could
Ooh.
all right, well,
You
Seahawks
get the
fans
point.
pay attention to us. Yeah.
Speaking
So,
of the Seahawks,
What else is going on?
so well, let's just cut back to Saturday because the Seahawks played on Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
But Saturday there was the wild card games, and the biggest one, obviously, for that we all watched, I'm sure, was the Steelers and the Bengals game.
I did.
I mean, this game,
I've never watched a Steelers game until last Saturday.
I've watched them, and they usually lose because it's against us. I mean, just recently, that's all. But the Bengals were actually down by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter. They come back. It's like
So
no
basically,
problem.
the Steelers were having a Seahawks fourth quarter.
Ooh,
Too soon?
Yes, too soon. Touche. Except for this.
Look, I'm a
fourth
Rams
quarter.
fan now.
You know what?
You got my heart, LA.
I see how this is going to turn
I said
out.
it could be bought.
Okay.
Just go with the trends.
Well, and here's the deal: the owner did buy because for $500 and something million, he's paying the NFL to move the team.
Who has $500 million? What?
$573 million to move the team to LA.
Well, if I won the Powerball, I'd pick a team too and move them somewhere. I don't know. That would be the first thing I'd do. I'd be like,
Toledo.
Well, yes, Toledo needs an NFL team. That's way too close to the Lions. The Toledo Jaguars.
Gosh,
I don't know.
Your Toledo fantasies. So basically, it comes down to the Steelers are down by a point, and the Bengals. Within literally, they have back-to-back 15-yard penalties. So one was this gentleman, I will be nice and say gentleman, Vontaze Burfict. He has basically also been given a 3-game suspension for the first 3 games of 2016. That's how bad his hit was.
Oh my God.
He hit Brown, the wide receiver Brown for the Steelers, and on his helmet. So head-to-head, helmet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ridiculous.
I saw that. I felt like the Bengals were playing really dirty.
Right.
Like really rough.
Well, and then...
Like, I don't know how ghetto Cincinnati is because I've probably driven around there to go to my destination, but I just felt like they were playing really dirty at the end.
Well, here's the deal. The Steelers play dirty, too.
I thought the Steelers always played dirty.
Right. So it kind of was a little bit of the medicine.
Oh, that's
but
the Patriots. That's the Patriots.
But it kind of went over the top. And then right after that, immediately following, there's Pac-Man Jones, who at first I was like, oh, Adam Jones. Who's this guy? Oh, duh, it's Pac-Man Jones. Like, this guy's been in the news so much. Well, he goes and basically Joey Porter, who was our TBT, Arms the NFL last week, he's an assistant coach for the Steelers, and he used to have quite the mouth on him when he was playing. So he comes out in the field as a coach, which there's still some discrepancy as to whether other coaches were on the field, if it was just Joey Porter. But basically, Joey Price said a few things. You couldn't catch it. You didn't see it. Yeah. He just kind of gives a little smirk smile.
Kind of like the gay slurs.
Right. And, Pac-Man goes off and ends up getting the next 15-yard penalty. So that's 30 yards, which basically brought the Steelers into field goal range, and they scored with 14 seconds left.
Yeah, we just... I'm always like... Teams that seem to give up yardage right at the end, I'm like, you gotta be. But then again, I don't know.
Well, then let's also talk about this. The Bengals, this is their 8th straight postseason loss.
Poor Bengals.
Needless to say,
but they were doing good. But they were undefeated
Bengals,
at the first 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter if you can't really hold
dat?
up in
Who
the
day?
postseason.
Wait, no. Who dat is New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Who day? What do the Bengals fans say? Who day?
Cares?
Do you know? Who cares? Nice, Melissa.
My loyalty lies to one team and one team only. Speaking of which, so then the Seahawks and the Vikings played in Minnesota, which was at the start of the game like -6, i.e. -20 feels like on the.
You could see their breath.
Well, not just it was like people were smoking vapors or those vaporizers because like the smoke was so clear and like it wasn't just like your usual you're outside like breathing air and you can see it. It was ridiculous. It was freezing cold. Some of these players didn't even have any their long undergarments on.
Yeah, they were running around short sleeves.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So
what happened in that game?
The Seahawks were down 9-0, start of fourth. 9-0 wasn't like a tremendous, deficit to be in the fourth quarter. However, for us,
I was nervous because they're not actually a fourth quarter. They haven't
you should have seen me. Let's just say it wasn't a good look until
I was nervous for you.
Thank you.
I'm a good friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So it was 9-0. I mean, literally. Okay, so Adrian Peterson fumbles a ball thanks to Cam Chancellor for stripping it, and we basically go and score a touchdown. With about 30 seconds left or so, Minnesota, we basically come back.
We're 10-9.
It's 10-9.
With that field goal for Seattle.
Yeah. The Vikings are coming back. They basically need to kick a 27-yard field goal. Blair Walsh.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that girl kicker.
27-yard field goal.
Save it.
And literally hooks it left. Laces out. So, Ray Finkel fans and Ace Ventura fans out there, this was your day to make memes because boy, did those memes.
Oh my gosh, it was literally my Facebook was just blowing up with Ray Finkel.
It was ridiculous. So, literally, with 22 seconds left, Seattle wins our game. But here's the deal: there were all these death threats. There was family threats to Blair Walsh's family. I mean, here's the deal: yes, your one job as a kicker is to kick a field goal, and especially one within 27 yards. It's like the easiest field goal ever. But this guy was the only person that scored for your team.
Oh.
Through 4 quarters.
Yeah.
He was the only person who scored.
So what you're saying is he got 75% of it right.
Right.
I mean, that's a passing grade.
I mean, he still scored your 9 points.
Give him the benefit
and not
of the doubt.
to mention our 4th-string quarterback, Christine Michael, who used to play for Seattle, then was cut, went to Dallas Cowboys. Didn't do so well there either. Then was playing for the Redskins and was on their practice squad. Well, we pick him back up. He's our fourth string running back. He actually had more yards than Adrian Peterson, who in fantasy football,
I heard that they averaged 2 yards a play.
2 yards, and actually, I believe
or less than 2 yards. They were talking about
his was less than 2 yards. He actually had, I think, a total of like 40 yards total rushing and 23 carries,
which is interesting from a Vikings perspective because they're used to playing under those conditions, or at least I would think they are. I mean,
used
they
to
live there.
at least more than us. Yeah. And Adrian Peterson is their all-star running back, who I actually had in my fantasy football. He was like one of the first running backs to be chosen through fantasy football. I mean, he's a great player. However, that game.
Yeah.
So really, people were lashing out this kicker when really your entire team didn't really show up.
Yeah.
Your kicker scored all of your.
But
points.
again, it wasn't laces out. And
laces were not out.
I've watched that kick a bunch of times. In fact, we were watching that game, and my guy said, "Laces out." He's not even a football person. He's like, "Laces out." So
it was really funny to hear that, huh?
Yeah. I was like, "What? Girl Chat Sports, yay!" There you go.
He's learning something new too.
People. Yeah, I'm teaching people. Laces out. Wow. Well, it reminds me of like Peanuts when Lucy would always go and put she would always pull it away, and Charlie Brown would be like, "Oh man," or whatever he said,
she was the holder. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lucy. Yeah. There's a new meme.
Hey.
Dang it.
Bing,
little too late for that now.
So basically, all the 6 seed teams won, and they all advanced to the next round of the playoffs. Which now our team. So the Patriots, the Broncos, Panthers, and Cardinals. They all had their first week off, and now they get to play. So
how nervous are you about playing Cam Newton and
I'm very nervous, especially since so me and my good friend, he is a huge Panthers fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. We have already discussed that we can't even be in the same room probably at all for the entire game. Like that's
going to be really tense. I was like, oh, we got this. They're at Minnesota. Those Vikings, blah, blah, blah. We already beat them once.
I mean, we've gone to Carolina.
And by we, I mean you,
because
I'm an LA Rams fan.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
And so we've gone to Carolina before and we've won. Carolina does not have the greatest postseason record except for when they actually went to Super Bowl. So it's kind of iffy. At least Cam Newton stage age is.
If I could give one piece of advice to your Seahawks right now, I would say go watch the Atlanta Falcons game. Because the Atlanta Falcons are the only people that have beat the Carolina Panthers this year. So I would say, go watch that. And no?
Yeah.
That's not what you'd study.
Because the Falcons team itself.
That's what I'm saying. If Falcons can beat them, that's the only team that's beat them.
It was like one of those, like, I don't know. Anyway, so.
All right. So what else?
We're going to play Carolina, and it's going to be a crazy game. It's also going to be a 10 a.m. game on the Pacific Northwest, i.e. West Coast, Pacific time. And I hate getting up early for games. Like, this is the one time when I wish I lived on the East Coast, so I could sleep in and watch games.
I thought you just like rolled over and watched your 8 TVs with all the.
I do, but now there's not 8. Now there's not 8 games. It's just 1.
Okay. Do I need to come over and like hold your hand?
Oh my gosh.
Well, see, look, now you're going to become a hockey fan. There's so many other sports, Melissa. You have to broaden your mind.
And
tetherball. I knew it. Darn you. Tetherball is not a sport.
Oh, God.
It's not going to be a sport unless Penn and Teller bring it back.
So.
Yeah, they might. They could.
They could bring it back. Well, and here's the deal. If the Seattle goes to the Super Bowl this year, which we are hoping they can still get it in there.
Three-peat.
They would be one of 4 teams to ever make it into the Super Bowl three consecutive years in a row.
I just want them to play the Pats or the Broncos again, see how that works out.
I just want to play the Pats again.
I know, right?
Who cares about the Broncos anymore?
Broncos were so last year.
So
no, too soon.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting eager for something else,
like
some arms of the NFL.
You say that so much better than I do.
We should take a vote and see who likes it more. Who likes it more? Who likes
Besides, out of us,
do it again. Yeah.
Arms of the NFL.
Arms of the NFL.
That's my best like late night Delilah. Our producer wins.
Our producer, you should hear his Freddy Cougar right now. It's like Sling Blade almost. Yeah.
There's nothing sexy about that.
Anyway, so first
all right, who do you got?
Arms, Mr. Andre Williams. Your Giants, yes.
I like him.
He'll no longer be in the. Oh, yes,
What?
those arms. And next up, Mr. Shady, aka LaShawn McCoy, aka Shady McCoy, running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Whoa. I got 2 things with this picture.
Uh-huh.
Okay, 2 things.
What do you got?
One, His arms are smaller than his arms. Who's this? Pick him.
That's probably
Okay, I'm questioning your arms judgment. Look at these arms. Look at his arms. I don't even know who that is.
But look at you have to also look at
just because your veins are oh. Well, you can't see his muscle. He's grabbing on real tight.
You never know. Okay.
And what's going on back here?
Censor that.
I'm done. I'm out. What is that?
What is back there? Interesting.
Okay.
His tail. It's his tail. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Next up would be Mr. Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas.
His
He looks
arms.
angry. He has angry eyes.
Well, he could be angry because his mom's still in jail. His mom.
That could have been from the Super Bowl 2
side
years
note,
ago.
His
You don't
mom
know.
was arrested when he was 11 years old, and he has not. And he basically, she's supposed to get out summer of 2017, which is in like a year. She's been in there for like 24 years.
Oh,
I know. It's
how old is he? Not very
Well,
old.
24 and
Some. Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay. I like the
Crazy.
tatted arms of the NFL. He's got some tats going on there. I see that.
I'm working
Inked
on. I'm
arms.
working on inked arms.
Inked
yes.
arms. Stay tuned next week for inked arms. We got a special guest. Prison tattoos.
Yikes! Maybe he
Ooh.
was there visiting, getting tatted with his mom.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
We digress.
Okay, little.
Maybe she was falsely accused. You don't know.
Yeah, just slanging a little rock, crack
you don't
cocaine.
know. You don't,
Oh,
you don't know. Okay, I don't know why she's in jail. I have no idea.
yeah.
All right.
Busted.
What's your TBT?
TBT would be Christian Okoye, who I used to have a real big issue with because Seahawks used to be in the AFC and we were against the Chiefs a lot, and he was so difficult to deal with. He is spooky, and he definitely has some ridiculous arms.
He is huge.
Huge.
I even want to try to tackle that guy. No, he's
Oh, yeah. So that was arms.
like, I'm scared when Leonard Fournette, runs at me. Not me,
Huge.
but anyway, I would be. But
was he running at you?
Yeah, Leonard Fournette runs at me all the time.
So
And
in
maybe
my,
he will be next
in my
weekend.
awe moment.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone's been on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, but Leah Still, who has been fighting cancer for the last year and a half or so, son or daughter of Devin Still, who played for the Bengals and currently is working with the Texans, just renegotiated or just signed a contract to hopefully play to practice out and try out for them this coming year.
Oh, sorry.
She's cancer free.
Okay, how old is she?
She's
Like
6, 5, 6. I
Aww.
know. So we're really excited about that. It was really good to hear.
Okay, but
But
there's a but. I can see it in your eyes. That's nice.
So while I'm, reading up on
maybe.
while I'm reading up on my moment,
that's so cute.
I was like, oh, so Devin Still, his insurance was helping her pay for all of her cancer treatments. He had been cut by the Bengals, but they kept him on for practice squad purposes for insurance to help pay for her treatments. And me, as the social services, social worker, social everything that I've had experience with the last 10 years here with the county, is that, well, there's a lot of parents out there whose children have faced maybe similar circumstances, or parents themselves who maybe get fired from a job or get terminated or cut, and they are unable to have medical coverage.
But if your employer says, hey, we're going to keep you on.
That would be great. So why can't all these employers do it?
Because all the employers don't have as much money as the NFL. I don't know.
I mean, but just think of all the other kids that could possibly
Like,
be
it's
saved.
like, oh, Leah Still, but like,
Leah Still. However, think of all the other sick kids out there that could possibly be
listen, I got a friend that's still married to her military husband, but they split up 2 years ago because she's still on his insurance. I don't know why I said that in air quotes, but listen, it happens. So I don't know. I feel like the Bengals were like, oh, okay, your kid's got cancer. We're not going to put you out.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not saying they should have put him out, but my thing is, like, I would hope that other employers are kind of taking a note to this and looking at it and being like, there are things that are happening out there that are way more important than just a job.
Well, I feel like we talked about the Bengals a lot. Like, this show is dedicated to the Bengals. See you next year.
Too much.
I'm not a Bengals fan. But yeah, well, we'll try to get to some of the chat questions later, I guess, or after the show.
After the show.
Because we've missed
We kind
them.
of slacked on
We
that.
love that. But
Oopsies.
thank you so much for joining us here on VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Every Wednesday night we're here. You can also find us on Stitcher, Roku, Google TV, Apple TV,
iTunes.
oh gosh, and a whole bunch of other places. There's like too many to name. Like all the places you think, if you're ever online, we're there.
And side note, if you win the Powerball, please come back and see us.
Because we're going to buy an NFL
It's
team
live tonight
and move them to Toledo.
$1.5 billion.
$1 billion. So
I just want like one small million. That's it. Just give me that.
All right. Well, we're out till next week. Thanks for joining us. 2 weeks from now, we'll be at Senior Bowl live in Mobile, Alabama.
And remember, we don't have balls, but we know how to cover them.